Episode 3, Haruka's isolation deepens, a path of shadows. A new challenge for the loner. The third episode picks up with Haruka continuing his solitary journey through the dangerous, ever-expanding world. Having become more adept at survival, Haruka's journey now takes him to the Shadow Woods, an ominous forest that instills fear in even the bravest adventurers. This part of the world is known for its treacherous terrain, inhabited by powerful monsters and filled with lethal traps. Adventurers usually only enter this forest with groups, but Haruka, determined to embrace his loner title, ventures in alone. Before Haruka sets foot in the woods, we get a deeper look into his internal thought process. The show highlights how his experience in surviving on his own has shaped him. While others gain strength through camaraderie, Haruka has honed his survival instincts through solitude. He reflects on the lessons he's learned from his time in the fantasy world, like using his inventory skill to store food and tools efficiently and his loner skill to remain undetected. Despite these strengths, Haruka struggles with the overwhelming sense of isolation that has been gnawing at him. Haruka's physical skills are contrasted by his emotional turmoil. Though he remains focused on survival, there are moments when the loneliness becomes unbearable. Episode 3 expands on Haruka's inner conflict, portraying his increasing detachment from humanity. Each step he takes deeper into the forest mirrors the growing distance between him and the rest of the world. The forest beckons. As Haruka enters the Shadow Woods, the atmosphere of the episode changes dramatically. The bright, adventurous tone shifts to something much darker and more foreboding. Thick fog blankets the forest floor, obscuring vision and making it hard to see more than a few feet ahead. The trees seem to close in, casting long shadows that move eerily in the mist. Haruka's heartbeat quickens, but he maintains his composure. The sense of danger is palpable. Haruka's loner skill, which allows him to stay undetected by monsters, becomes his greatest asset in this eerie environment. As he moves cautiously through the woods, viewers see glimpses of monstrous shapes moving in the shadows, creatures far too powerful for Haruka to confront directly. His skill allows him to slip past them undetected, but there is no denying the tension in the air. Haruka knows one misstep could mean the end. At this point, the show provides more world building, explaining the history of the Shadow Woods through Haruka's findings. The forest was once a thriving, magical place but has since become cursed, a place where even the bravest adventurers fear to tread. As Haruka navigates the perilous woods, he reflects on the stories he's heard about adventurers disappearing, never to be seen again. The forest seems to have a life of its own, an entity that feeds on fear and loneliness. This creates a chilling atmosphere that sets the tone for the rest of the episode. Exploring the ancient ruins. As Haruka makes his way deeper into the forest, he stumbles upon ancient ruins hidden beneath layers of vegetation. These ruins are remnants of a long-lost civilization, forgotten by time and overtaken by the cursed forest. Intrigued, Haruka decides to explore further, hoping to find something valuable that might aid him in his quest for survival. The exploration of the ruins is both thrilling and nerve-wracking. The show emphasizes Haruka's meticulous nature, portraying how he carefully examines every inch of the ruins, looking for clues or traps. The ruins are a labyrinth, with dark corridors that twist and turn, and Haruka must use his wits and experience to navigate through them safely. The walls are lined with ancient glyphs, and Haruka makes mental notes, realizing that this civilization may have known secrets about the world that could be useful to him. As he ventures deeper into the ruins, the atmosphere becomes even more oppressive. The air is thick with tension, and Haruka can feel the weight of the place bearing down on him. He moves cautiously, avoiding traps that would have killed a less experienced adventurer. The deeper he goes, the more he becomes aware of how utterly alone he is. No one will come to save him if something goes wrong. This realization sends a chill down Haruka's spine, adding a layer of psychological tension to the episode. Inner conflict, solitude versus companionship. While Haruka has always embraced the life of a loner, this episode delves deeper into the emotional toll that solitude is taking on him. The show captures Haruka's internal monologue as he wrestles with his growing sense of isolation. He starts questioning his choice to reject companionship. Could he have found allies in this new world? Could things have been different if he hadn't chosen to walk this path alone? Haruka's reflections on his classmates, who were summoned with him to the fantasy world, add another layer of complexity to the story. He wonders if they've found strength in numbers while he's been honing his individual skills. However, despite these thoughts, Haruka remains resolute in his decision to continue as a loner. He believes that depending on others makes you vulnerable, and vulnerability is a weakness in a world as dangerous as this. The battle with the Golem. As Haruka reaches the heart of the ruins, he encounters an ancient guardian, a massive golem made of enchanted stone. This guardian stands between Haruka and the treasure hidden within the ruins. Unlike previous enemies, the golem is a formidable opponent, far stronger and more resilient than any creature Haruka has faced before. The ensuing battle is a test of Haruka's ingenuity and resourcefulness. Direct combat is out of the question, as the golem's sheer strength would crush him in seconds. Instead, Haruka uses the environment to his advantage. The ruins are filled with traps and obstacles, and Haruka cleverly leads the golem into dangerous areas where he can gain the upper hand. The fight is grueling, with Haruka taking several heavy hits, but his determination and quick thinking eventually allow him to prevail. The animation of the battle is intense, with fast-paced action scenes that highlight Haruka's agility and strategic mind. Every move Haruka makes is calculated, and the tension builds as he narrowly avoids death multiple times. The golem, while slow, is relentless, and the stakes feel incredibly high throughout the fight. When Haruka finally manages to defeat the guardian, the victory is hard-won, leaving him physically and emotionally drained. The Cloak of Shadows, a double-edged sword. After defeating the golem, Haruka gains access to the treasure hidden within the ruins. Among the spoils is a powerful artifact known as the Cloak of Shadows. This magical cloak grants the wearer enhanced stealth abilities, making them nearly invisible in the dark. For Haruka, who relies on stealth to survive, the cloak is a game-changer. However, the Cloak of Shadows is more than just a powerful tool, it's also a symbol of Haruka's increasing isolation. As he dons the cloak, he becomes more disconnected from the world around him. The cloak amplifies his ability to remain unseen, but it also deepens his separation from others. Haruka's journey has always been one of survival, but the cloak represents a new phase in his life, one where his loneliness becomes not just a choice, but a way of life. The episode ends on a somber note, with Haruka disappearing into the shadows, both literally and figuratively. His journey continues, but the emotional and psychological toll of his isolation is becoming more apparent. The loneliness that once protected him is now threatening to consume him, and the path ahead seems darker than ever.